Hello everybody, and thank you for tuning in to another thrilling episode of This Week in Real Estate. And surprise, I blinked and another week went by. So that's kind of how the week overall was, but we'll get kind of into the nitty gritty. So the market report in Delaware County saw a pretty somewhat sizable increase in active listings. So there were about 81 last week, and there's 91 now. I know that's only 10, but on a percentage basis, somewhat sizable, so that's good to see. And then the pendings also increased a little bit to 140 pending listings. And in Randolph County, we kind of went the other direction. So we're back into the teens for available homes active on the market at 18 homes in Randolph County for sale right now. And then the pending is about the same, maybe a tick higher at 43. On to the good, the bad, and the ugly. So a lot of good things this past week. A lot of kind of a flurry of activity when basically nowadays when something comes up, you run and go take a look at it as soon as you can. So that happened here in farmland where property came up, we went and saw it, we wrote an offer, got it accepted. So that is very cool for them. And so now we're just in that process of scheduling everything to get that one to the finish line, hopefully in about 30 days or so. We end up closing the house on Western in Winchester, and that was just a great transaction overall. It helps that it was a wonderful property. And so now we're working post-closing possession. We're starting to pack up, starting to move and stuff like that. So that one is just transactionally complete, but we have to obviously get the current, the past owners into their new spot, and then the new owners moving in here in a couple weeks. And then also working through some inspections on the seller side of a transaction. And so the buyer did their inspections, had a couple issues they'd like to see addressed, and we've already sent our response back, and that was just 2 days ago. And so we should hear back, I think, by tomorrow if that's acceptable or if they have another idea. And we just kind of, it takes a couple times every once in a while, go back and forth. So that's where we are with that one. And then after canceling 4 baseball games because of weather, it just seemed to always be raining on Monday and Wednesday when everything was scheduled. We were back last night, and a little bit chilly, but not as chilly as it has been, and it wasn't wet. And we had some rust to knock off, if you will, and I think the other team did too, honestly. But we had a doubleheader, and the first game ended in a tie at 2-2. And then we lost the second game 6-5, but both of those games we had the opportunity to kind of pull ahead, and things just didn't happen. But it's good to be back on the baseball diamond, so that's good. And then if you remember last week, we had a kitty cat at the vet, so she's back and she's doing well, and she's back to her spry 16-year-old self, if you can be spry at 16 when you're a cat. And then obviously Easter was last weekend, a little bit cold, and it seems to be the theme of the past few weeks, but good and fun. Kids had a good time. We did a quick Easter egg hunt outside, and then had, again, just kind of a couple different dinners and food. Actually at church we had a breakfast carry-in, and that was something different. I don't think I remember doing that before, and that was really good. Tons of different types of casseroles, so I filled my plate to try all of those, and they were all very good. So the bad, so again, last week had to essentially kill a deal because of inspections, so we did it again this week. But that's just the way it goes. You do those inspections for this reason. You don't want to get in over your head due to an unknown condition. Because when we walk through homes, when we show homes, I'm not in the crawl space, I'm not in the attic, things like that. And some issues lurk in those areas that we don't see as we're going through the home. So inspections are vitally important. And so the bad, I guess, is that a couple transactions died because of it. But it's also a good thing that they didn't go ahead and buy it and then find out later we had the issues. So that's a good and bad, I guess. And then the ugly, so nothing too ugly on a professional level, except, I haven't done this in a while, but I always look, we're in the MLS every day looking at homes that come up and doing research and stuff like that. So there's always an ugly picture out there to be had. So coming up, so today specifically looking at a few houses here in Randolph County, and I think we have 4 or 5 to look at, something like that, to possibly list. We'll see what happens there. And then tomorrow, so I missed the first 2 essentially editions, if you will, gatherings of something that's called Coffee and Collaboration, and that's put on by Randolph County United. So that's tomorrow morning, and a colleague of mine, Paul Faddis, will be presenting along with a business partner of his. And like I said, I missed the first 2, and so I'm happy to catch this one. And if you want any more information about that, jump on the Randolph County United Facebook page, and you can read all about it. So we do have the clear to close on a couple transactions, and I think they'll be scheduled for next week. It just depends on when buyer, seller, agents, lender, and title can all get together on a day and time. So we'll look forward to that. And then, barring any other crazy weather next week, which you never really know, we're playing catch up for baseball. So we have 3 doubleheaders in a row, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday for Abram, with some practices sprinkled in for Solomon and Lydia. And then Solomon and Lydia's league will start, I believe, middle of May, something like that. So another couple months at the ballpark for the Cunninghams, so that'll be fun. And then really ready for some warmer weather, and that's on the forecast. Might be some rain here and there, but a nice sprinkling of some 70 to 80 degree weather will do everybody very well. So that's about it. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below or reach out, and I'll be happy to address those. And until next time, really appreciate you guys tuning in. So we will see ya.